Yep. Hello and welcome. This is Dr. John Mason. I'm with Masters of the Journey. This is um, a little bit of a video as an example to people who want to participate in our grandparents and elders wisdom sharing project. This is also for my grandson, Mr. Milo. He just turned 1 year old, and I feel it's a responsibility of elders, perhaps grandparents, perhaps just people with some wisdom and consciousness to share from their experiences the important messages or lessons that they have learned in their lives. This came to me because I wanted to expedite a consciousness development for Mr. Milo. I'm going to tell a little bit about my story. And, I was raised in Los Angeles. I was born in New York City, but raised in Los Angeles, and I had an upbringing in a Orthodox temple because my family was Jewish, and it was not quite what I had in mind. It wasn't something that I found spiritually or emotionally um, effective or important for me at that time in my life. I felt like there was more politics and whatever, it didn't branch into the spiritual. Now, from a very early age, I knew that I was intuitive. I had certain knowings and ways of connecting. I may have inherited that, or I heard some of that from my mother, who was intuitive. I don't know where I came from, but I had the gift to that, and I kind of knew it, but I didn't know how to talk about it. I didn't know how to share it. I knew that religion for me at that point wasn't what I wanted. I turned away from all religion. Though I had many experiences. I had guided relaxations and out of the body experience where I went to experience what death and dying was all about. Began meditating when I was 23 years old, and I had some amazing meditations, including one where I got to go visit the river of life. As Buddha sitting by a tree in front of the river of life, I was able to connect with all other spirits, more than just living things, with everything, to realize my connection with all of the universe and my place in the divine consciousness. Those kind of things are life changing. But because I was young and naive at that time, I didn't really fully appreciate that, and so I didn't have this huge quest to spend every waking moment trying to develop spiritually or in consciousness. Now, I did read many books. I mean, I had many experiences. I had conversations with people. I loved listening to people's passions. But I really felt like I didn't get conscious and work real hard at it until I turned 65 when I moved to Bellingham, Washington. That was 7 years after the death of my wife in, well, let's see, it was 3 years after the death of my wife, and she passed away in January of 2012. That was a huge learning experience for me as well, but I didn't really consciously know what to do with that. And I began a crash course of studying how to talk spiritual, is what I said. I thought that was funny, but it was true. And I started Masters of the Journey in 2015. I was guided to do that. Let's stop and talk for just a minute. I think that we're all guided. I was guided and protected from early on. I was provided with guidance and experiences in life that I wouldn't exchange, even the difficult, painful, challenging ones. I learned from all of them, and they were very, very important for me. um, let me let me just, I'll use a dramatic one. My wife and I were married, and when we were 19 years into our marriage, she got a terminal diagnosis for ovarian cancer, and we worked together as a team to support her and to help her. And she was given 5 years at the time she was given the diagnosis. My wife made it 8.5 years. And I learned a lot from that experience. I learned to appreciate a lot of things. I learned things that I never thought I would learn. And one of the things at the very end, after she had passed, was I learned that I didn't understand the void in my life that would be there after she passed away. And I wouldn't wish this experience on anyone. It it was a difficult one. You might imagine, I don't want you to feel sorry. That's not what the point of this talk is to say that I've learned so much and was able to take some of that information and find a way of then using it to assist or be of service to other people, to other pilgrims, if you will, that were on their path through this life. Anyhow, in 2015, when I started Masters of the Journey, I started going to Unity Spiritual Center in Bellingham, and Bob Trask, the minister there, was really an interesting guy and a mentor at many levels. I started reading and going to study groups around the Course in Miracles, and at Unity they had another book that was supposed to be dictated by Jesus, and it was called The Way of Mastery. And I found that that was really a good book for me and a good conversation for the groups that I was in. I share that because maybe you've never heard of A Way of Mastery by Shanti Christo. It, Maybe you've never heard of Course in Miracles. And I think that those experiences are really quite valuable. And I would say that the things that have changed my life the most have been actively involved in meditation for most of my life. At least I officially started when I was 23. And I've been through several versions of that. And it's one where now, at this stage in my life, I can honor the ability to spend time quieting my mind and being present, and perhaps even being open to guidance or information or messages that I can then come and find a form, whether it's through video or through writing or through story sharing. And as I share those stories or the videos or the writing, I learn a great deal. And I think that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, which is to find a way of being of service to the world or to the universe. Wow, I'm all over the place with this. I'm covering a lot of ground, but it's it's the fall of 2019 as I'm recording this. Perhaps there will come a time when Mr. Milo, who's only 1 year old as I record this, will find this and watch this and maybe be open to knowing that his grandfather was on a spiritual quest. And I have a very strong feeling, personally and from guidance, that he is blessed. He is blessed by being protected by guides and angels and mentors and family that love him, that he is a part of the divine spirit, a much larger thing, that he will find his way back to a place of unconditional love and understanding, and that his struggles in this life are there for a reason. And every person he bumps into is a special gift um, that is there to provide experiences so that he can learn and grow and test some of the information that he has discovered. Maybe not discovered, maybe it's remembered from our divine origins. So I I leave this message at this point, hoping that I can share even more of the stories, maybe some of the specific spiritually transformative experiences. STE, that's a, a word that I bumped into about a year ago. spiritually transformative experiences that meant so much to me and are lessons that I believe were given to me. I was guided to have them so that I could share and be of service to other people. Mr. Milo, when you hear this, I love you. No matter what anybody else says, you're a miracle. You're perfect. You're so much more than the incarnation of life that you're probably in right now as you view this message. You're so much more than that. And if you don't know that at a conscious level, I hope that your consciousness, your life experience leads you to so that you can relearn that, so that you can remember that, and then you can find a way of using all of your tools to be of service to other people that you bump into. Thank you for your time and your attention. And please take care of yourself. If you feel that this is important, I would encourage you to go out and walk in nature, connect, be present, perhaps find meditations that are useful. And always, whenever you have the opportunity to talk with somebody who's got a passion for their spiritual development, not their religion or their philosophy, but for the consciousness that they've stumbled upon, listen to them. Find whatever perspective you can from the words and the message and the experience that you share with them. So you may open doors. So always be open and know that life is providing you with so much if you just pay attention. I know you will. All right, we'll have a spectacular time. I'm going to turn this off for right now. I love you. You're a blessing. You're a miracle. Thanks for being you.